All right, let's go back in time. Picture this. It's 1984. A man named Michio Kushi gets up to give a lecture, and he says something that must have sounded completely insane. He predicts that humanity is about to split into two totally different species.
Yeah, that's the actual quote. He wasn't talking about some far-off, distant future. He was saying it was starting right then. He truly believed we were standing at this massive fork in the road, a choice that was going to fundamentally change what it even means to be human. And to get this huge idea across, he didn't use complicated charts or data. Nope, he just told a story. A really personal story about two best friends whose lives ended up symbolizing these two completely different futures for all of us. So let's dive into this story. It all starts back in the 1940s at Tokyo University. The two guys at the center of it all are Michio Kushi himself, who he calls MK, and his best friend, a man he just calls KM. And these two, they were inseparable. You know, in their dorm, one was the chairman, the other was vice chairman. Then in their class, they'd just swap roles. They studied law, they got through the war together, but right after they graduated, their paths just completely split. For 38 years, they didn't see each other. Then, out of the blue, they run into each other in Boston. And when they finally met, wow, you could see just how different their lives had become. MK had spent his life focused on natural philosophy, on healing the body from within. His friend, KM, well, he was now the chairman of Japan's Artificial Internal Organs Industry Association. So you see it right there. One guy represents this natural path, and the other embodies the technological path. And KM's path, the technological one, is the one Kushi believed pretty much all of us were already heading down. He saw it as our go-to solution for what he viewed as a species that was, well, biologically falling apart. He gave this first step a name: Bionation. The idea is super simple, right? If a part of your body fails, you don't try to heal it, you just replace it. If your system is out of whack, you use chemicals or machines to control it from the outside. Kushi's whole point was, hey, this isn't science fiction. This was happening right there in 1984. Things we barely think about now. Artificial hearts, dialysis, hip replacements were becoming the norm. And get this, he pointed to a stat that is just mind-blowing, that by age 65, half of all American women would have had a hysterectomy. His point was crystal clear. We had already started replacing the human body piece by piece. But of course, the body was just the beginning. The next step he predicted was something he called psychonation. He figured that as our minds got more chaotic, more depressed, society wouldn't look for the root cause. We just turned to chemicals. Not to heal the mind, but to control it. To artificially manage our own psychology. Okay, so this is where it gets really spooky, especially now. In 1984, he foresaw this final stage of technological control that sounds like he's talking directly about the debates we're having today around artificial intelligence. He called it Ultra-Psychonation. Now, we're not just talking about managing your mood anymore. This is the direct engineering of the human spirit itself. The idea that your memories, your free will, even your basic concepts of reality could become programmable code. I mean, look at the things he imagined: erasing bad memories, implanting fake ones, programming someone's ambition. But then it goes deeper. The idea that you could literally install a definition for God or love or peace into a person's mind. This is way beyond just building robots. This is about turning humanity itself into a programmable operating system. The line between what's natural and what's artificial, it doesn't just get blurry, it's gone. So here's the billion-dollar question. What happens to us when our deepest feelings and ideas are no longer things we learn and experience, but things that are coded and installed? Kushi asked, what do words like love or spirit or heritage even mean anymore in a world like that? He thought all of human tradition, everything we've ever built, would just stop. But remember, there was another option, the MK line, the path that Kushi himself was walking. And it was the total opposite of all this external control and replacement. This path was all about healing from the inside out, a complete rejection of the replace it mentality. It starts with the most basic thing, what you eat. He believed that could literally change the quality of your blood. But it wasn't just physical. It was about reconnecting spiritually with nature. The goal wasn't just to fix what's broken. It was to rejuvenate your entire being, to evolve into a higher state of consciousness, all on your own. So you've got these two completely different philosophies laid out. On one side, you have this human arrogance, this idea that we can fix it, relying on outside experts, expensive tech, and drugs. The other path is all about human humility and internal self-control. It's really a choice between replacing a broken part or healing the entire system. Now, according to Kushi, this wasn't some casual choice we could make whenever we felt like it. He believed that back in 1984, the clock was already ticking. We were running out of time. He actually talked about a study where scientists used a supercomputer to project the future. And that computer mapped it all out. Bionation would define the 80s. Psychnation would take over in the 2000s. And Ultra-Psychonation would peak in the 2020s. And then, in the year 2033, the computer's projection just stopped. The scientists concluded that this technological path would lead to the end of civilization as we know it.
And that's why he was so urgent about it. Speaking in 1984, he said we had maybe 15 to 20 years to pick a path. After that, he believed it would be too late. Society would be so locked into the technological path that there'd be no turning back.
But in the end, he didn't see his old friend KM as some kind of villain. He saw their two paths as two sides of the same coin, a front and a back, a yin and a yang. These two opposing forces, both shaping where our species is headed. One friend leading a world of artificial creation, the other leading a world of natural resurrection.
Which leaves us with a really deep question, one that feels more important now than ever, especially with AI on the horizon. What is the ultimate goal of intelligence? Is it to overcome the limits of nature by replacing it? Or is it to understand nature so well that we can perfect our place within it? It's the exact choice Michio Kushi saw coming almost 40 years ago, and it might just be the most important choice of our lifetime.